Imagine if you're doing this reading and you've gone so deep into trance that you have no body awareness anymore, and it's like you were there in 3D, and you're connected to this killer, and he's going up to this house, and he's going in the back door, he's got his knife out, you see him, you follow him, he's making a left turn, and he's attacking the young man and the young woman first, and then he goes upstairs, okay? And you've seen that. Now all of a sudden you're watching mainstream media, and they're trying to claim that this guy went in the second floor but skipped the people and went onto the third floor, killed them, and came back and killed the other ones. But you know differently. Now, do you change your story? Do you change what you're going to be saying? Or do you just stick with what you received? And don't worry about what everyone else is saying for years on end. Just let your information sit there and let it play out. A couple examples is one, when before they arrested Brian Koberger on the Idaho 4 case, Lauren from the Sweetie Pilo channel, she called me and she said, you know, all the other psychics, like 20 other psychics, are saying that this guy was hiding in the house, right? And that, I think that came when the information came out that it was a short time period. Then all of a sudden, all these psychics were going, oh, he was hiding in the house. Well, they shouldn't have done that. And she goes, don't you want to change? And they're saying he took a shower afterwards because that was a result of the lack of blood. She asked me if I wanted to change what, and I said, no, I don't want to change anything. I get what I give what I get from spirit. I'm not getting it from the outside world, and I'm not getting it from other psychics. And I'm just trying to illustrate here the importance of just being true to what you receive. Don't worry about mainstream media, which is usually wrong. Social media creators it would follow that they're often wrong. And then when the police do press conferences before they arrest someone, they often purposely mislead the public because they don't want to alert the suspect as to that they're onto him. So just like you see and even now, they keep trying to say that Brian wasn't stalking these girls, Brian Koberger, and yes, he was. And I'm not going to take it back. Yes, he was. And, you know, Idaho law has a really weird definition for stalker, but yes, he was, and we'll see about that at trial. That's how you just be true to what you picked up from spirit, and even if it's wrong, then that's fine. Then you'll learn from that, but it's really important to not try to fit what you're getting to any information you might know about the case. And so that brings me to tell you that it's far easier to do a reading before you really learn a lot about a case. Like if somebody contacts me and they want help on a case, I'll usually click on my browser to check that it's a legitimate case, they've really filed a missing persons, and that the police haven't solved it. Okay, so, but other than that, I don't read about it because I want to see what I get. The more you know, the harder it is, because then you just have to keep shaving that off. But when you're doing it, if you do know, say the case we're going to work on today, if you've seen that case, what you do, like I suggest everyone have an audio recorder, and you have one on your cell phone. So if you're practicing and you don't have one yet, but 20 or 30 bucks, you can have an audio recorder and you can record yourself doing these little meditations and readings. Oh, the other thing is say what you're getting. Okay, so say what you're receiving. However you receive it, for every physical sense you have, you don't need to memorize the French names of things. For every single physical sense you have a spiritual sense. And some people hear things and they don't see anything and they get lots of good information, and other people, I mostly see things. It's almost all visionary. So, and some people just have feelings of things and they still get good information. So it's, you don't knock anything or try to, the more you do it, it will all grow, but we all get things different. And just first say what you're receiving. So for example, I see Brian Koberger in the kitchen and he's eating an apple, and then he puts the apple down the drain and then he picks it back up and put it in his pocket. So an apple is the fruit of Washington State. An apple is also symbolism for a woman's breast. An apple, there's also evidence on his Apple iPhone. So which is it? We're not going to be 100% sure right now, but all of those are actually good confirmations. And if I just tried to interpret it without saying what I was actually seeing, then I wouldn't be able to go back later. So what I'm saying is, if you're recording yourself and you say what you're receiving and then try to interpret it, if you feel there's an interpretation. If you don't know, then don't try to guess. But if you're feeling there's an interpretation, then say that afterwards. Okay, so I'm Reverend Donna Seraphina, in case you don't know that, and I am a spiritualist reverend and a psychic medium. Let's see, I have a little outline I'm trying to go by. So I'm glad you all joined today, and I hope that I can help you so that you can help to maybe get some of these killers off the street. For me, I really like the idea of when there isn't enough evidence abundantly clear for law enforcement to be able to tap in to a different energy field and maybe some information that could help get a killer off the street. And you can do that too. And so I hope to give you some tools for that today. So how I have this set up for today is I have 3 exercises. 2 are on a specific case, and then the other one's just a fun exercise. And after each exercise, we'll go over, if people want to raise their hand and just say what they received, then I'll call on you and you can do that. And then after we go through that, then you can ask a question about that exercise, and we'll do the 3 exercises. And then at the end, if there's any open questions, whatever you have questions about, I can help you with at the end. If you're new to this, like just getting intuitions and sometimes downloads, or you might be watching a TV show and you might be going, oh, I have a feeling about this. Every single one of us has, it's like a bubble around us, and it's our human energy field. And scientists at universities have been able to measure this for decades. It's a scientific proven thing that we all have this energy field around us that extends a couple feet. And if you meditate or go to the zone in your mind where your consciousness expands past just your physical body into your energy field, then you can connect with the greater energy field and receive information. And that's called psychic. And you just do that with practice. You literally just develop it over and over with practicing on those intuitions. And then obviously, if you want to talk to the spiritual realm with angels and spirit guides and some aliens and deceased people or whoever, then you can do that too. If you're not comfortable with that, though, you can get plenty of good information just from the energy field. Anyone have any questions about that idea? So it's a good idea. So you set your intention when you're going to do this, and intention is kind of everything, or very important in the spirit world and spiritual law. So you set your intention. Everybody receives things differently. Okay, so and so everything you learn, even from me, that's going to go into your toolbox, right? You might learn something somewhere else, and it works for you, and you develop as you practice and sit there and practice. You'll even receive things from your spirit guides that will actually help you in your growth. So it won't even be all external if you just start meditating a few minutes a day. Okay, so this is how I say a prayer. It's just calling God. I feel like the consciousness that is between us all in this energy field is all God's consciousness, or connected to God. And I call in God. I ask for Jesus Christ to bestow the blessings promised in the Bible. Jesus actually says, whatever I can do, you can do as well. You know, a lot of people bypass that little fact, but that is what it says. And in spiritualism, we believe that this is a gift. It's a gift of being able to talk with spirit. So, and then I ask for Archangel Raphael to put healing energy all over this work and everybody involved, as well as Archangel Michael to protect against anything that would deceive or that is from the lower realms. And there are trickster spirits if you start dealing with spirits. I haven't had a big problem, but it's always good if you call in your spirit team and your guides. And then I call in my daughter, Nicole, to help me, and Archangel Gabriel. I ask for clear messages. I ask for energy shift. I ask Archangel Uriel to increase my psychic vision, to increase your psychic vision. And I ask the Council of Elders to facilitate the communication. And then I open to spirit. So when I go into those wave trances, I'm actually turning myself over to them. So that's kind of advanced mediumship. I don't think you want to just meet any spirit and go, oh, okay, you take my soul or take my consciousness and go somewhere, because, you want to make sure that you're comfortable with, you'll start feeling your spirit team around you, and you can even pray and ask your spirit guides to step up and to blend with your energy so you can start sensing them. And you build, so you want your spirit guides, you want to get to know them. So we're going to start with the first exercise and some tips that I really believe are important. When you're going to do a reading on a case, if you do know anything about it, if you heard anything, forget everything you know. Don't try to fit anything in. Right? Because, like I said, mainstream media is usually wrong. They tell stories that aren't even true. They do not care, and they will continue to sell that story if they can sell it. And so what you get is what you get. But if you're on your own and you're doing a recording of yourself, and something comes into your mind and it's because you saw that photo on the internet, just say, you know what, this is in my mind. I believe it's from me seeing the photo on the internet. And that way it'll keep moving, because it's like a treadmill. And if you block information, you refuse to say it, sometimes it just jams up and stops. So you just say I think this is from the internet, and then move on. Now, also with the murder stuff or the psychic detective stuff, let go of anything, this idea of what people would do or what they would not do, right? And you could hear me all the way. You could hear me all the way through Tylee Ryan, Most Important, that first reading with Lori, going, nobody would do this. Nobody would do this, right? No one would do this. And I never even would have put it on the internet or sent a letter to the police if Tylee had come by herself. But it was my daughter that brought her, which only gave me a little legitimacy to trust it. But even then I was like, no one would do this. Like, I didn't even know. I was like, had demons taken over my brain? It is literally the only time I've ever stopped a reading in the middle and started praying, because I was so scared. But you really have to, one thing I've seen too with these murders is, it's really weird, but most of these people seem to enjoy the torment of their victims. And so you would think if someone was just going to kill someone, they would just do it, but they don't seem to. So just let go of the idea of what you think someone would actually do versus what you're receiving. And just say what you get, Okay, let's see if there's any. Now, if you find yourself thinking or trying to analyze, you're not in the psychic zone. There's plenty of time for analyzing it after. And you can say that too. If it's coming into your mind, you could say, I think, because once you hear yourself on the recording say, I think, then no, you're trying to analyze it. You're not in the psychic zone, but so what? Maybe that's something that you needed to add. And so everything you say that predicates a vision or a receiving of something will help you learn, and how your spirit guides give it to you will help you learn how to use that information. Okay, so the first exercise is 10 minutes. That's the longest exercise. The first person that we're gonna do is this lady. I don't know if anybody's ever, just put your hand up if you've ever seen this lady before. Okay, her name is Lauren Dumolo, and if you want to see her picture again, you can just take out your cell phone and type it into, I'll hold it up for a while though, type it into Internet Explorer. But again, if you see a headline that says something, just ignore it. Don't try to fit what you receive with that. And one way to take control of your mind, to stop the shopping lists and all these other thoughts, to center your mind is, one, just take some deep breaths, right? Inhale, hold the deep breath into your stomach for like 5 seconds. Okay, and then just visualize yourself at the edge of a forest, and visualize that you're going to get into an elevator and go down 5 floors. And as you get in there, you see the tops of the trees in the forest. And you're going down into the forest floor. And then you go across and you get into a little of these gondola cars. And you're going to go up the other side. And on the other side is a meeting room that you create in your mind. And you go up the other side and you get off and you walk across and you see a door in the forest. And you go through that door, and that door is the world of spirit and energy. And in that space, you create a room where you're going to meet with your guides and your angels, where they can share information with you. And then this woman's name is Lauren Dumolo. So if you were doing this on your own, you would look for a picture like this where the person is looking directly at the camera, where you can see into their eyes. You can really sense somebody's soul when you see into their eyes. So I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes, and I'm going to hold up the picture some more. But like I said, it's okay if you want to pull out your cell phone, but don't try to read anything, because it's not going to be correct anyways. And just relax and invite information. If you don't feel like you want to connect with the spiritual world, just invite your consciousness to expand and to receive information, or invite your spirit guides and or Lauren herself to provide information for you. I'll do it for 7 minutes, and then if we want more, we can go back into it. And just allow yourself to receive information. This woman went missing in 2020. Nobody has seen or heard from her since. And so I've set the timer for 7 minutes, so just relax, and if you want to write it down or you just want to try to remember, that's fine. If anyone wants to share what they received.
I did.
Okay, go ahead. Is this Christy? Oh,
hi.
Hi.
Lindsay. Hi.
Hi.
I felt like a tremendous amount of heaviness on the right side of my head, like the crown chakra, or like the right side. Like I had been incapacitated in some way, almost like after being, I don't know, possibly hit, or I don't know what happened, but like almost like a drugged feeling, and like labored breathing, not really understanding what had just happened. When I first saw her picture, I don't know what, anyway, I'm just giving what I'm getting.
Okay.
A bed with white sheets, like she had been thrown down onto a bed, possibly attacked. I don't think, and it looked like she was wearing like pink, like workout clothes or something like that. I don't think that she's with us. I mean, that's the impression that I'm getting. I need to, get in more, work more on it. But those are the initial impressions
Okay.
that I see or got.
Okay, great. And then Leslie? It says Leslie plus 3 others raised their hand. I don't know who I'm saying.
Yeah, perfect. So I got just kind of some random impressions. I saw her running like a trail, like kind of in a nature area. And I got an impression of somebody maybe jumping out and putting their hands over her mouth. And I felt being strangled, stuck.
Okay. Okay. Anything more?
Nothing more.
Okay. And Christy? You gotta unmute, but go ahead, Christy.
So it's kind of wild that people, so I think someone just earlier mentioned nature trail. Many times.
Oh,
Like,
I
she
have to
really
say
wa-
that for some reason when you moved away, the microphone didn't pick up what you were saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. She just kept saying forest, forest, like very loudly, and she kept saying chop, chop. And like I saw someone with like, you know, a big axe swinging. I tried to ask her who did it. I said, is it like a husband or something? She said, no. And then I couldn't get any more information out. I said, are you buried with your child? And she said, no. So I don't know if like the child in the picture is involved with what happened. I'd never heard of this case, but the moment that I saw her, even before you said she was missing, I could just tell she was missing. So when you confirmed that, that was kind of spooky, and I didn't know if the child was involved, but something in me told me that the child in the picture was involved, and for whatever reason, she's not buried with her child. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that other people like kind of said she was on a trail somewhere in nature because she said forest, chop, chop, and I couldn't get more out of that.
Okay.
But it was a lot of concentration towards the head. So I mentioned that too, was like all towards the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay, good. And Mary?
I got very, very strong feelings about jealousy for beauty. Beauty came out first, and then jealousy and hatred. That there's a woman involved that's close to her, like she's a fake friend. Again, it's a nature trail. I got that whether they were together on the nature trail or whatever, or that they're hit in the head with like a piece of either a rock or a piece of concrete. But I just feel strongly that there is a woman involved.
Okay. Okay, good. And what about you, Julie?
I didn't get anything for a long time, and then the first thing I saw was like dry leaves, and that she is under these leaves, and it was like she was laying on a slate. I don't know how to describe it. It was a jagged slate that was hanging over like a little cliff, and she was under the leaves.
Okay, that's interesting because you're all getting put out in nature. And did anybody else not get to go yet? Who put up their hand? Deborah?
So I got a vision of where you're kind of like on a mountainside and you're looking down and you can see a road, kind of like a winding road. So from kind of like a bird's eye view, looking down.
Okay.
I didn't get anything else really, whether or not she's with us or not. I just seen a road looking down, kind of winds.
Okay. And did you go, Molly?
Not yet. So I feel like I kind of got a lot that might be all over the place, but I'll just read what I wrote.
Okay.
When I first started looking at her picture and trying to visualize, I got the feeling of summertime or swimming, and like I could hear like the commotion of like a public place, or where you can hear people chattering in the background, almost like at a pool or a lake. And then I pictured her brother, and it felt like a missing feeling, like a grieving feeling, or something like that. But then when you asked Donna about if she's deceased or not and how we could do that, like everything kind of changed for me, and I felt a scuffle between her and a man, and it didn't feel like what I was just thinking about the brother, but because when you prompted that, and then I felt like there's a scuffle near water, but not in.
Okay.
And then I got wooded and muddy, like a wooded area and mud.
That's so interesting. You guys are all getting.
And I visualized her doing this and saying no, no, no. So then I felt like it was like a head thing, like a blunt force trauma.
Okay.
And then she was almost crouching with her hands up. And then I got a red car with a beige interior.
A red car with what? A red car.
Beige, like a beige interior.
Okay.
And I could hear I was supposed to like be somewhere.
Okay.
And the last thing I got was the first came to me was South Carolina, or like a state with the word self in it.
Okay. Okay, good. You got a lot. Okay, did you go, Jolie?
Yes, I did, but I forgot something, and I'm glad that you asked me.
Okay.
Because when I saw those leaves, because I live in Florida, it was to me that it was that kind of leaves that get dried out in Florida. I had a feeling that she's somewhere buried in Florida. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, and she went missing from Florida.
Okay.
She went missing
And
from
then,
Florida.
but we don't have slate here, so I don't know why I saw it, but definitely I saw that they were those same kind of brown shriveled up leaves that we get down here when they fall down in the forest.
Thank you.
Sometimes when you see something, it could be just to kind of represent something else. Or if you start to see something and you pin it as something you recognize, they'll let you have it because it's close enough. So if they're trying to show you she's on this flat thing or whatever, or something like the slate that you know of.
And I got the impression that she's not buried deep.
Okay.
They just threw the leaves over her.
Okay. That's real interesting. Yeah, you're all getting something very similar about that. Does anybody else want to see what'd you get, Lorraine? I can put her on the spot because she's in my group all the time.
Okay, I sensed a nervous energy around her and that she liked plants. I felt a sense of betrayal from her. Something to do with a man or a boyfriend. I wasn't sure about that. I also sensed she might have been in the woods. When you asked if she was deceased, I got, yes, she was, and I got chopped up. So that's all I got.
A few people got that chopped up, and pretty much everyone got. So is there anyone that thought they might have picked up anything that? Okay, you don't have a name on there, but the blonde with the hand up.
Okay, it's Rebecca.
Hi.
Sorry. I got something different. Location-wise, I was seeing like she was at a small bar.
Okay.
I don't know. And then when you said, see if she's deceased, I envisioned a red, like a machine, with, I don't even know what you call them, but like a machine that digs into the ground and pulls out water or oil or something that's for her body's located.
Like some heavy equipment or something like that?
Yeah, like those things that run all the time, like they run automatically, the machines.
Oh.
I don't know what to do. If they're checking for oil or water or pumping for water, I don't know what they are, but I saw a red machine and her located in that area.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, that could be a good clue.
But I don't know what the red machine is.
That's fine. You don't need to know. Yeah, you don't need to know.
I didn't see anything happening to her, like what they did. Right. Just that he's not here.
Yeah, and different people pick up different things, so it is kind of nice working in a group sometimes. Now, let's see. I got the impression. Lindsay, you want to go ahead and talk? She's writing a note. Lindsay, let me see. Oh, there is a chat. Let's see. Oh, look at Christy. Lindsay, do you want to talk out loud or no? Lindsay says she got the impression of a man who...
Oh, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I was trying to find it on mute.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I had spoken earlier, but I forgot to mention that I believe that it was a man involved.
Okay.
Who did it, but it's like, I feel like she was really incapacitated on her head. It's like, I can feel it. It's like being really disoriented. And, what else? Yeah, I guess maybe the pink workout clothes or whatever, or the exercise clothes that I said, that kind of falls in line with perhaps being outside and Oh, I know. Is there a significance with the month of November?
I don't know. Like, I don't know when her birthday. I know she went missing in June of 2020.
Okay.
And the
right.
last verifiable sighting was a surveillance camera that picked her up applying for a job at a local gas station.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And everything else after that is probably partly a setup of the crime. So, okay. So Christy, did you have a little more, or? Oh, go ahead, Jennifer.
I just saw her like in a parking lot, and I saw in the background there was like a supermarket. There was some kind of place attached to it, and it was kind of like a plaza where there was a bunch of stores. And I did smell like a chemical, so I don't know if that was like chloroform, and I did feel like something. So I'm not sure if that anything to do with it or not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then we just keep trying. So here's another hint. If you're kind of new to it, just create a second email for yourself also. Then when you do like little meditations or readings, you can put what you got and what you think it is. And then you'll have like this timestamp thing where you can look back later. So you can't change your, if you change your memory to fit everything all the time, then you're not going to learn anything. So you learn the most really when you're wrong. You'll learn a lot, but every single reading, I think the spirit guides teach you a little more. And so if you do that, you'll learn, you're like, oh, I saw this, but it was this, and then you'll get some ideas about how they work with you. Now, what did you say?
I felt like there was duct tape put over her mouth.
Oh, okay. Okay. And did anyone else want to talk? Did anyone else want to say what they get?
Donna?
Yeah.
I forgot I put a note. There is one more thing I just seen like a forearm with a green long sleeve shirt with, the hand that looks kind of masculine. Okay. I don't know what that means, but I thought I'd just say that.
Okay.
It's funny that she's just pictured the hand being calloused and like kind of rough and lots on the hand.
Like he does blue collar work. Yeah. Okay. Does anybody still want to say what they received, or anybody else?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Oh, I'm super new to this and I've never done anything like this.
Okay.
So what I got was tears, regret, bleeding, a lot of crying into your hands. When you put your face in your hands, hopelessness, despair, very personal. Maybe someone she knew, but I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. And not alive is what I felt. And too many thoughts like swirling in her head, and she was going in circles in her head. Something like that. Okay. So I don't know.
I can verify.
That's all I wrote.
Yeah, I can verify that some of that is true. So I think you did tap in. So that's good. And okay. So is there any more? All right. Okay. So,
yeah, I've got something.
Okay, go ahead.
If you don't mind. So when you put her picture of blue and green, or blue or green.
Okay.
And then glowing. I don't know what that was about.
Glowing.
And then running in around the woods, which is like really creeping me out that most of it thought. But she's running away from someone. And then buckets is what the blue and green turned into buckets, or a bucket. And then slashed throat. So that's interesting with everyone else. Then and that was when you had said, did she, is she alive? Or then I got co-worker, which is just getting into, I'm wondering if it was prior to that, whatever she had before that. And then I got Nathan or Jonathan, and where off Highway 90, like into the woods, but not very far, in Buffalo.
Wow.
In Buffalo.
Okay, yeah, so all those can be clues. The nice thing about being on YouTube is everyone looks that stuff up and sends it to me on the email. So before I used to do YouTube, I used to sit there and do a reading, and then I'd look for things, and then my father sometimes would help me look for things. But then when I started putting my readings on YouTube, all these people started emailing me. So it makes it a lot easier.
I love.
What? So do you want to try one more of these people, or do you want to just do a fun exercise?
Let's do a person.
Okay. So this person is named Suchir Balaji. If you know anything about his case, then just dismiss it. Anything you may have read or heard, just dismiss that. And his body was found, so he's definitely dead. And this will be really, I can't wait to see what you guys get on this. Yeah. So I'll set the timer for 7 minutes, and then we'll come back and see what you guys get. It'd be very interesting.
Horrible image. Suchir Balaji.
Here's another photo. Let's see.
Oh, thank you.
Like I said, if you're ever doing this, look for these kind of pictures where you see the person look right into the camera, so you can kind of touch in with their soul. Makes it much easier. Okay, I can't wait to hear what you guys picked up on this. This is a case that interests me also. Therese, welcome. Therese is in Norway.
Yeah,
Hi. How are you doing? Did you do this exercise?
Yes. I was too late, as usual.
It's okay. It's okay. She's getting up in the middle of the night to join us from Norway. Yeah, what did you pick up on this Suchir? His name's Suchir. Did you
ask me?
Yeah, did you pick up anything on him?
The first thing I saw was a car. A dark car. No, I would say something like blue, green, not very dark, but the first thing I saw was a car. Maybe a little old car, not a new. But I had strange feelings because this was the same guy. But I got two different feelings with both of them, even though it is the same.
Okay.
It's like something's changed.
Okay.
Something changed very. I don't know what more to say.
So you're saying he had a change in his life?
Yes, very, very much. Very much to a dark side, but not in him, but to
somebody around
people.
him. Okay, somebody around.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. If you get any more while people are talking, you can put your hand up again, and then. Okay, Leslie.
I got the feeling that he might be a university student.
Okay.
I have a really strong feeling of water, like possibly his body was dumped in a large lake. And I also feel like maybe he was shot, like.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay. Okay, what about Mary? I don't know.
I got the first thing that came to me was this metallic taste in my mouth, and it was almost like it was attached to my brain, which sounds so stupid, but it was like a metallic taste in my head. I feel super despair, lame, like he had no one around him, like no one. It was like everybody gave up on him. And I definitely got the feeling that he died alone. Which makes me think if you died alone, did he do it to himself? So, but the feeling of the blame and the despair is just, it's just so heavy. It's just, I feel like my whole body just wants to collapse when I look at his picture.
Okay.
And so, but that's pretty much it.
Okay. And what about you, Jolie? I don't know if she's sitting there. Molly, did you have something?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, you can go ahead, Jolie.
Okay, thank you. I hate to say it, but I felt like he was suffering from being gay. I don't know if I'm right.
Okay.
And that he was bullied.
Okay.
And the other thought that, the other thing I saw was that he was by a school. It was some kind of a yellow building. More than one person harmed him.
Okay.
A group of people. That's all I have.
Okay. And then, okay, so we got Mary, Jolie, and Molly.
This one seemed harder for me, but I got graduation. The word grown, as in like he's so grown, maybe someone said that. I got party, bar, celebration. And then I got he's far. Like this one came in words, like very just specific words to me. I got misled, innocent gesture, and then I pictured him wandering around outside, and then I don't know if this is my thinking part of the brain, but I wrote down the Riley Strain case.
Oh, interesting. Okay. You with the blonde hair? I forgot.
Yeah, I also, the first thing I got was a college.
Okay.
I didn't get any visual of what the name of the college was or what it looked like, but it was related to a college, and it was people he knew.
Okay, people he knew. People
that knew him.
Okay.
That did this.
Okay.
Like he was betrayed.
Okay.
And these were people he thought were friends.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
That's what I got immediately.
Okay. Okay. And okay.
I see more like a beating, like a group ganged up on him.
Okay.
Like they ganged up on him.
Okay.
And something he didn't expect or just see coming.
Okay.
But I can't see what they did, you know?
Right. All right.
But it was more than one.
Okay, that's interesting.
Like people he trusted.
Right. Okay, what about you, Kathy? Well, Kathy.
I didn't get that at all. I got that there was a car that went into the water. It was an accident.
Okay.
That's all I got, was a car in water.
Okay. And what about you, Camilla?
I first of all, I got up that he get bullied a lot, and then I got up gay. Somehow I also got up that I don't know if it was his family, but he was a bit shunned out of the family in a way. I don't know if the family has anything to do with it, but that he's been very bullied his own life. I also got a picture of a swing. I don't know if I can say school or playground, but I just saw a swing.
Okay.
And it was like very, it wasn't much around it in a way. It was just a swing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I got up.
Okay. And then did you pick up anything, Susan? Did you get anything? Okay, let's see. Let's see if anyone else has it. Does anyone else want to chime in? Did you pick up anybody else pick up anything? Okay, do you know who this guy is? This guy? Suchir. He's the openAI whistleblower.
Yes.
He was shot. He was shot. I think he was shot twice in his head, and they said it was like a suicide. But I mean, you know, people know that that's unlikely. And his mom said he was offered. His mom said he was offered a job for $1.5 million after he did the whistleblowing, and he was going to do more whistleblowing on openAI, right? Big time. And he was being a whistleblower, and he came home, and then he was shot in the head twice. So that's what you're getting, the metal in the mouth. I think one of the shots went through right by there, his mouth. So yeah, I think this is real interesting. Millions and millions of dollars and power involved in this one.
Hi, this is Lindsay. I'm sorry, I had to let my dog out, but I did write down, when I got back anyway, I wrote down partnership and disagreements in business. Anyway.
Yeah. And even when you're getting, like, some people getting the family, could that be his work family? You know, because see, he worked for openAI. He was some kind of child prodigy genius, and he was making big money already. And something happened in the AI, and he reported it. And he was going to report more, you know, about the dangers of AI. And then suddenly, you know, he's shot in the head when he's about to start a new job for $1.5 million a year. So he wasn't suicidal. The next exercise is just a fun one. And this exercise is to show you about first impressions. So it's only a 3-minute exercise. And in your mind, I mean, don't start yelling them out until the 3 minutes is over. But in your mind, just see what your first impressions are. I put 6 items in the box. So this is mostly a psychic exercise, although if you already tap in with spirit guides, feel free to do this however you want. So there's 6 items in this box. And I'm going to give you 3 minutes, and then I'll ask you what you believe might be in the box. So it's a nice, clean way to move back into stuff that's not as yucky. It's fun. I love this. I love it. When I'm in a class and they do this exercise, it's one of my favorites. So here we go. It's 3 minutes. Just what's in that box? What did I put in that box this week? I guess, okay, it's been like a little more than 2 minutes, but if you're picking up anything, do you want to raise your hand and then I'll call you? I know, see, Lorraine's good at this. Okay, Lorraine, what did you get? I put her on the spot. I go, I'm not putting anyone on the spot.
This is the one that I always really do poorly on.
Oh, no.
I got something pointy, like it had corners, like sharp corners. Maybe something white, something blue, a feather, maybe a crystal, and a pin.
Okay.
I got that's about it.
Okay. What about you, Therese?
I also got a crystal, a stone, not round shaped, but many, a crystal, and purple. And I also got a feather, but I got not a book, but a paper. Yes, that was, but the stone and the purple was, yes.
Okay, and what about you, Christy?
It was weird because the first thing I saw was lock, and I was like, why would she put a lock inside a box that's already closed? So I was like, oh, that's confusing, but that's the very first thing I heard, lock.
Okay.
And then leaf, and that's all I got.
Okay. And you know what? I could put anything in here. Anything. So it's wide open. Don't ever discount. And actually, that's a good example for don't ever discount what you get. Just you get what you get. Okay, and then Jolie.
The first thing I got, can you hear me? Okay, the first thing I got was an egg timer.
Okay.
And then some kind of utensil. I don't know if it was a fork or spoon or knife.
Okay.
A ruler.
Okay.
You know, like a measuring rod, not the rod, but the one that rolls up, a pencil or pen,
okay.
A watch, and a deck of cards.
Okay. Okay. And then what about you, Mary?
I got a bottle, a kitchen gadget, whether it be, and Joey said an egg timer, something along those lines, a dog toy. And that could just be because I'm a dog mom, big mom. I don't know what it is in my brain. A mirror, some kind of makeup, and a crystal.
Okay. Okay. And then Leslie?
I got something yellow, maybe a ball, like a dog toy, and a pair of scissors.
Okay. And what about you, Kathy?
I got a feather and a shiny rock and a fake white flower and sand in a colored bottle. It's a colored sand in a bottle.
Okay. And what about you, Claude? Claude?
Well, it's Claudia, but I don't know how to type. So I got it's like a wedding invitation or some kind of like itinerary to flight to something. I don't know, something celebration. Yes.
Okay. And then anyone else that didn't go? Susan, did you get anything? Deborah?
So I got a couple things. Spoon.
Okay.
Like a dog toy, like a ball. Paper of some sort. Also a crystal. And a photograph.
Okay. Okay, good. And you with the blonde with the Margaret?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. I got a key or keys.
Okay.
I got a dog bowl, papers or bills, something, envelope. Did I say writing utensil? Some kind of a writing utensil, pen or pencil.
Okay. And then
dog bowl, papers, yeah, and I don't know why I got a dog bowl.
I know a lot of people got dog things. What about you, Ron?
I don't know. And yeah, that was it. Those 4 things.
Okay. Did you want to try Ronky? No. Okay. Simi. Hi, Simi. Simi's in Australia. Simi got up in the middle of the night too. She's an admin in our Facebook group.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice in there.
Very nice of her.
I got the color red.
Okay.
And I've got pendulum.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay. Anybody else? Laura, do you want to go? Okay. Let's see. I just want to make sure. Okay, Jennifer.
I got a feather, a crystal, I think it's necklace, scissors, spoon, a marker pen, or a pen, paper.
A lot of people got scissors, didn't they? What about you, Molly?
I got a crystal, a paper clip, phone charger, pin, and orange. I don't know if that's a color or if it's an actual orange.
Okay. I'll show you what I got in here. I got a compass. See, that's what I mean. I can put anything in here. Some essential oil. Essential oil. A crystal. And the one who said, and someone also said they felt like something pointy or something. This is a crystal wand. And sage. Sage.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Okay. A dice. Oh, someone got a deck of cards, but I didn't put a deck of cards, but I put a dice. It's kind of related. And a business card. Business card. And a Q-tip. But it kind of shows you like stuff that comes into your mind right away, and also just, you know, it's a fun little way of doing stuff. You can even ask other people to put things in a box for you to guess. Okay, so with that, I can just open it up if anybody has any kind of questions that can be about anything, you know, related to all this. It doesn't have to be related to the specific exercises. What about you, Christy? Do you have a question?
Yeah, so I guess I didn't know what's like kind of going into this meeting. I didn't know like I didn't have a lot of expectations because I'm a beginner. So I guess I know it's like a question that probably a lot of psychics and mediums always deal with, but like, how do you trust like the information and the downloads you're getting? Was it because like when we were doing the first exercise, I didn't really believe any of the stuff I was getting until other people started chiming in and validating me. And I was like, oh, maybe I should trust in myself more. But I think like, how do you build that trust within yourself? And I had a second question, but I figured that's a good question to start with first.
Okay, so that one, like I said, if you make a second email and then you practice, if you practiced every day, you'd get good real fast. But even if you practice 2 or 3 times a week and just do a little meditation on something and then send it to your other email, you know, so you've kind of got a record of what you're thinking. That is one way to build it up. And the other thing, it's just trial and error. And it's learning to trust what you receive rather than what somebody says, because I could be doing a reading in front of somebody, right? And I'm telling this lady, she's come to me, her daughter's deceased, and I'm saying, your daughter's showing me herself in a red jogging outfit, red velour jogging outfit. And the lady spent the entire hour trying to argue with me and convince me. Okay, so her daughter would not do that. So then the reading's over, and about half an hour later, she texts me a photograph, and she said, after our reading, I was walking down my hallway where all my photos were, and there was like an old picture of my daughter, and she was wearing a red velour jogging suit. And that happens all the time, where you're in a reading and people try to tell you that they don't know what you're talking about. Now, if you were to go, oh my God, I must not be connected. Oh my God. It's like, okay, I know that I'm getting that. You know, we'll just wait and see how this fleshes out. But just hang on to it, right? So it's just a matter of practice.